When it comes to Spider-Man and the rights to the character, it's one of the most complicated messes being shared between various different studios and different assets being associated with different people's names. Now let's talk about the Spider-Man rights and the complications for Marvel Studios' What If. So when it comes to Spider-Man rights, in regards to who owns what, it's really complicated. The comic book rights, the toy rights, the merchandising rights for all the properties that are in live action or cartoons, how they're split, whose name is attached to it, how far back the contracts go, some of them even 30 years plus, are all in effect. So having to use Spider-Man for anything is a legal nightmare battle. Now, of course, Sony and Disney are working better together today than they were a couple of years ago, definitely better than they were a decade ago, for example, but there's still some complications and hurdles to take giant leaps and bounds over to try to make things possible. For a while, we didn't know if we would actually get Spider-Man in any MCU shows, such as Marvel Studios' What If. Recently, in an interview with Uproxx, head writer AC Bradley talked directly about this, and how it came to approaching the Spider-Man situation. And essentially, when they asked Marvel Studios when they started writing the show if they could use Spider-Man, they were told to just do whatever they wanted, to run wild with it, to write it in, to figure it out, and when it came down to it, they would figure it out down the road. But just go ahead, write whatever you will, and when we have to face the challenges and the people that hold the contracts, we'll do it and we'll figure out all the logistics. So they said they did exactly that. They just approached it with telling the story they wanted, going into the details they wanted, and focusing on delivering the best version of Spider-Man that they could for the story that they needed, and then let the higher-ups and the people signing the checks, the contracts, and how it's balanced between all of them sort out the rest of the details. Now, for example, Spider-Man, if he appears in anything MCU live action on film, that's a Sony deal, so a portion of the money goes to Sony. Animation is 100% Disney. Now, the logistics between using MCU Spider-Man in animation is a gray area nobody knows about. Specifically the fact that they seem to have changed the character, but did they change him enough? And also when you bring in the fact that it's the Disney Parks suit, if you will, I think that's what we call it now, the Disney Park suit, that raises even more complications because the Disney Spider-Man is not the MCU Spider-Man from films, but it is the MCU suit from the animated What If without the cape. So again, there's tons of legality here in how and what and who can reference what thing and who can go where and say what, but it looks like they worked it out for the benefit of fans. And I'm interested to see if this is going to be further expanded upon down the road with other MCU projects, because I think most people would like to see more Spider-Man, but we never know who's going to say what, who's going to want who, and who's going to demand where something can appear and why. Because remember, Avi Arad still has involvement. Yeah, those contracts go that far back.